Hey folks, Vic here with your weekly trade video for Friday, May the 29th, 2026. Most traders never even look at the yearly chart, but Darko's been using it for years to help build high probability swing trade ideas. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, how could a yearly candle possibly help with trading? Understand this, the yearly chart is not used for entries. What it does do is provide an incredibly powerful big picture view of market direction, major support and resistance, and expected yearly movement. And when you combine that with the monthly, the weekly, and the 4-hour charts, it becomes a serious edge for developing a trading bias and stacking the probabilities in your favor. In this video, Darko is going to explain to you how he discovered this concept, what he found after years of studying it, and how he now uses yearly candles in virtually every pre-market analysis. And by the way, I want to ask you this: have you ever used a yearly chart for anything in your trading? Let me know in the comments. All right, here is Darko to talk about how to use yearly charts in your trading.
Hi everyone, Darko here, and welcome to today's price action reading school. I came across the yearly chart last weekend by accident, to be honest with you. I was playing around with my template, and I saw that I could actually click on trading views, so and I could add months, and then I typed 12, okay, and then I clicked on add. Then I get the yearly chart. So I was just out of boredom playing around with my chart, and I saw some amazing observations that I want to share with you. And if you don't have access to TradingView, or your charting package doesn't provide yearly chart, don't stress over it, because if there is any valuable information, I will share that information with you in my PMAs, so you will have access through the yearly chart through my PMAs. And this is obviously, this is more like for the bigger picture, like what is my expectation for this year, or at least what is the probability. Expectation is the wrong word. What is the probability that the pair that I'm trading will be doing for this current year? Okay, I will show you one example for hindsight, and then I will actually share some ideas with you for this coming year or this current year on several pairs. Okay, and most of the pairs are young. They are from 2002, 2004. Very few pair like dollar index is from 1985. So there are you don't have many candles to have access to. So you have to interpret what the market is giving you, and obviously just see how price was reacting at this. Would you say that this is a significant neckline? Price comes down, you have a pin bar reversal, and then what about this one in here? This is 2012, okay, and do you see the correction move? Because what did I say in the correction move video? That price is usually correcting at the beginning of the time window. In this one is a yearly chart, every candle is 1 year. Would you have a clue that, hey, we are at super level of resistance, we have a 382 pin bar reversal? Well, it will be very wrong of me or you to have a bullish mindset for the entire 2013. Okay, so by watching these correction moves, and I will show you this example, it's more recent, we have a bearish engulfing for 2018. What is the probability for 2019? Well, and this is what I mean, this is a bearish candle, this is no hindsight, this is what we do on daily basis. So this is a bearish engulfing for 2018. I'm marking this level as a neckline on a monthly chart, and now for 2019 I'm waiting for a correction move, and then my bias will be short because this is a bearish candle. Okay, so if I go from the yearly chart for 2000, I'm watching January 2019 on my monthly. Okay, and this is where the correction move is happening, and the correction move is usually to a point of, in this case, resistance. Okay, and then you go to your weekly chart and you see that this is where I have my cursor. This is January 2019, and then you have that bearish mindset in your mind, like we are correcting our move before this happens. And would you be able to pick tops and bottom? No, that's not where I'm trying to share the observation. The observation is that you have a bias, a super long-term bias, and then once you are like let's just assume that in this case my bias is short, price hits a monthly, weekly resistance, identical neckline, and then I have some evidence on a daily chart, and then I have, like, when I'm taking shorting opportunities at key levels of resistance, hands off. And when I'm doing like long trade, because there are some long opportunities, don't kid yourself, there are some juicy long opportunities within that bearish way of reading price. But you have to know, like, hey, where can I be aggressive with my trade management, and where can I be taking a step back and let the money run for me or work for me. Okay, so this is a very, very nice observation, and like I said, I just discovered this for like literally 4 days ago. Okay, so I'm very new to this as well. I'm doing some experimental things. Like, would you be, let's just go to the Aussie yen. Would you be interested to know that actually for 2020, this is how this candle closed? Is this bullish or bearish? This is super bullish. And now it's the beginning of the year, January, February, March. At some point, price will be correcting itself. Okay, we will be correcting itself either to this level or maybe even to this level. Okay, and then the yearly candle for this, because here's where we closed, it will probably be something like this. Probably, we never know. Okay, and this is what I mean. You're not expecting the probability is price is giving you a correction before heading up. So January, February, maybe even March, something like this, and then we will be doing something like this on a weekly and daily chart. Okay, and then the yearly will probably close bullish. Why? Because the previous candle was bullish. And how can I convert that knowledge or that observation into trading? Well, if I mark these necklines on a monthly chart, the yearly chart, I mark these necklines for the yearly chart, and then I'm looking at the correction move. Would that coincides with any logic level of support on this pair? Well, look at this. Do you think this is a super level? Do you think this is a super level? These are significant necklines on a monthly chart that coincides with that yearly candle, and also with this super strong, pin bar reversal on a yearly chart. So now I have and these monthly levels coincides almost perfectly with the weekly, because we are not trading the monthly level, right? The monthly level is just for like bigger picture. So what would you do if I just slightly adjusting these levels? Okay, slightly adjusting these levels. Now all of a sudden we have, if we get a weekly pullback into this neckline in here, or a deeper retracement into this level, okay, and then we involve also, because these are also, I assume, not assume, but let's just see if those are also, look at this, traders, this is, oh my gosh, some interesting stuff is around the corner, and just stay tuned and just stick with me, and we will, this is great stuff. I was, this blew my mind when I discovered this for some days ago. So if price comes down into this level on weekly and daily, which coincides with that monthly as well, this monthly level, and it's also within this bias, well, that's where the big juicy money is made. And yes, we are day trading, but if you got an opportunity to day trade yourself into a position trade, would you mind that? Like, even if you like trading, like, whatever amount of lots you are trading, just leave it alone. Just leave it for the, and especially when you are carry trading, when you have the interest rates in your favor. That means not only you are making money when price is going up, they are paying you the interest rates differential between Aussie yen and Kiwi yen. Those are the carry trade pairs. Okay, so, and just even if you keep it for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you are getting interest on your money. So that's super interesting, mind-blowing if you ask me. Look at Aussie dollar. Same in here. Is this a bullish or bearish candle? What do you think this pair will be doing for the rest of the year? And where are we right now? Because I was looking at my monthly chart. Where did we pause? Like, why did we range on a daily chart for, there's nothing there on a monthly? And I was like, why is this happening? Like, why is price stopping from here? Well, I had no idea before I watched this yearly chart. We are at a yearly resistance. Is this tradable? No. But that's also an information for me to know that price will probably correcting itself at any of these necklines, which coincides super perfectly with the monthly and the weekly level. Even if price only comes down into this monthly level, well, that monthly level happens to be perfectly a weekly level. It's also perfectly a daily level. So what do you think, like, if price comes down into this level, and based on our identical neckline approach, this is also triple neckline, okay? And price correcting itself on a yearly chart, and then hits this level, gives you a pattern, come on. And especially like if you have a weekly candle action, like a pin bar reversal or a bullish candle action, those are the juicy trades. So, and this is the thing, I need to have like a yearly bias, and so interesting and so mind-blowing. Just like, I don't know, I'm so thrilled to just discover this by accident. So let's go to the cat Swissy. Why do I'm looking for a potential longing? Look at this neckline on a monthly. The monthly candle closed clearly below that level. Okay, clearly closed, and this is a bearish candle action. So the probability is that the monthly chart will be correcting itself. Okay, retracing up to this level, which coincides perfectly with the monthly, weekly. Okay, do you think it was a coincidence that we dropped like this? Okay, we touched that level to the pip. So we dropped. Okay, we are correcting ourselves for the next coming months or so, maybe even year, and then we will continue in that direction. So the probability is that this year, for 2021, will be looking something like this. And this is where I mean that, having a yearly bias and looking at the bigger picture. CAD yen. Okay, same in here. Bullish candle action. What happened? Like, is this a significant neckline? Would you say that this is a significant neckline? Super bearish, followed by like super 3 candle reversal. Yes, price hits that level, made a pin bar reversal. Would you be interested to have access to that information, like when price went down there? And this is for 2020, right? And 2020 is in here. Well, there was some legit levels to be traded, and this was actually from the Corona candles. When the Corona broke out. And here's what I mean: price hits a level like this, and you have like a weekly super level of a pin bar reversal. There are, and then your bias will be basically because you are at yearly support. So then you can build yourself a bias. And now what we are doing is basically, maybe a correction move. If I move this away, so you see this neckline, a correction move into this level, or maybe even deeper. Okay, for further upside. Okay, Euro Aussie. Look at this. Would you be interested that 2020 closed like this? Doesn't get any more bearish. Okay, this doesn't get any more bearish. Like, if we are correcting ourselves, retracing maybe for the first month or two, look how this neckline coincides perfectly with both weekly and monthly level. Okay, if I just slightly adjust this to here, now all of a sudden this is what you have. Okay, price is correcting it itself. Does this look like a clear support becomes resistance? It looks super juicy. Okay, it doesn't get any juicier than this. So by having this idea, just like we know exactly what to do, and this is also a daily level. Do you think it was a coincidence when price closed, established, retest and dropped, and now as a yearly candle coming up in here and then drop again? I don't know what to say. And for pound CAD, do you think this coming year will be another ranging year for this pair? The same way price gave you a clue, the previous one. This was a rangy. This is just like, and look at how the weekly and daily charts looks like. Well, I'm not expecting a miracle trading this pair because it's just rangy, and price just gave you a clue years ago. Pound Kiwi, is this a bullish or bearish move? Price was bearish, dropped, retraced, bearish at resistance, correcting move into these super levels on monthly, weekly, also daily for potential further downside. Pound dollar cable, we have many cable traders. Okay, would you be interested that your pair, the cable, pound dollar closed so bullish? Okay, are we due for like a correction, or maybe this was the correction? Okay, we like I said, we never know how deep, how shallow, or even if we have a correction. Okay, you just mark the closing price and you see that, hey, we are actually this might be heading up. Or if we are not heading up, maybe we are due for a correction. Well, there are levels on a monthly and weekly chart that is coinciding with the daily for more long term. Okay, USD CAD. And this is what I mean, this is a level that we are reacting from. Look at this candle action. Okay, if we are correcting, we might be correcting. Look how this monthly level is also a weekly level. Okay, and it's also a daily level. Okay, will we correct that much? We never know. Price could very well just end up in here or wherever that might be. But my bias, we are coming off support, so there might be due for a correction. Okay, and then based on the previous yearly candle, we will be looking for some shorting opportunities. And the problem with this one is that you are coming off support. At the same time, you have some major resistance. So this one more like 50-50. But at least we know where the big money or the big levels are on this pair. Look at the USD yen. USD yen is just resting at this super level on a yearly chart. So I would say for this pair, I'm looking very much forward to price maybe correct itself like this, and then maybe close bullish. Okay, and how can I convert that into the monthly chart? Well, I'm watching this like a hawk, like every other pair. So when that opportunity presents itself, I will be mentioning that or talking about that. So hopefully this was like a slightly introduction into the yearly candle, and I hope that you are blown away as much as I am. I'm very excited. This is something super new to me, the same way it's super new to you. Let's just grow together and make something good out of this. Hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day. Cheers.
So the biggest lesson here, or the biggest takeaway, is that sometimes the strongest trading edges come from stepping back, like just take a step back a little bit and look at the market from a much higher perspective. Okay, and especially when it comes to swing trading. Most traders spend all their time zoomed into lower time frames, but understanding where price is positioned on the yearly chart can completely change how you view the market. Okay, remember again, the yearly chart isn't for entries, it's for context and bias and identifying major levels that can influence price for months at a time, right? If you found value in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future trading lessons from Darko. And don't forget to leave a comment letting us know whether you've ever used yearly candles in your analysis. All right? Thanks as always for listening in. I really appreciate it. Wishing you all a great weekend and trading week ahead. Cheers.